Hey guys, this is Daniel Bloodworth, and one of the things I kind of have left over from E3 is that I got into behind closed doors session talking about Forza Motorsport 5 and some of the new tech and features that they have planned for it. And they didn't really show like a whole lot more in terms of gameplay. They were just more talking about, kind of, behind the scenes and kind of grand vision of the game. First off, I'm sure you guys have heard the word drivatars, and it's, not the greatest name in the world of anything, but essentially what they're trying to do is they're trying to get rid of AI in a single player experience and replace that with real human behavior. And the way that they're doing that is they're taking all of this telemetry data. So, how you approach certain types of corners and how you pass a car, how you drive a front-wheel drive car versus a rear-wheel drive car, all of these types of different variables, right? And then they're uploading all of that to the cloud constantly, and then the cloud, will process it and generalize it and create your drivatar, which is essentially a version mimicking you that will go out and populate other people's games. And so depending on your difficulty settings and things like that, it will give you certain drivatars to race alongside of you. That includes those players' names, that includes the paint jobs that they might have on their cars, all of that kind of stuff. So it kind of has a little bit more of a sense of driving against the person, but not really at the same time. So it will be interesting to see in action. The one thing that they talked about too is that while your drivatar is out there racing around, you will actually get earnings from that. So if your drivatar is beating other people, then you'll get cash back from that. On a similar level, they're doing a lot of recommendation, like kind of Netflix or Amazon style recommendation in terms of everything from your career to what kinds of cars become available, when you earn a new car, or paint jobs. They say, like, if you like Simpsons paint jobs, then it will recommend Simpsons paint jobs. Or if you use paint jobs from a certain designer more often, you'll get more of those. And they even said that designers will get kind of residuals on those paint jobs. The more that you use them, then, in-game currency will go back to that designer rather than just the one-time cash payment when you buy it from the auction house. 60 frames per second, 1080p is the goal. I think it's pretty much always been, one of the things Forza strive for is that 60 frame per second mark. They never talked anything about weather or night, so we're still kind of on the fence in terms of that, as well as dirt tracks. Really no mention of those features at all that we've been looking forward to in Forza in a long time. They went really in-depth talking about their lighting and materials, and we're saying that, generally to make the game look better, they had to find ways to make the cars look imperfect. They have to, kind of get those scratches and things on there on the rotors, and they have, they said 3 layers of paint with subsurface scattering. So there's a base coat, and then there's like a metallic flake, and there's the top layer, and the clear coat. And they were also talking about, like, you could actually, if you wanted to, you could customize your car and like have it all, completely covered in carbon fiber or 24 karat gold or whatever you want, So they have different materials that they're working on there. Another thing that they didn't go too far into detail about was Top Gear will be more of a presence even than the last game. So they're going to have access to all 3 hosts. They did mention that every car will now be in Forza Vista, which is what they've renamed Auto Vista. So rather than in the last game, they were only, maybe 25 or so cars. I can't remember the exact number. Now every car in the game will be accessible for that, in-depth view of a car and being able to get inside of it and look around and peek under the hood and all of that. Another thing that they talked about was audio, and they are actually going pretty far out with the audio. They're looping in Skywalker sound to kind of create a cinematic score, and so there's going to be an orchestral score that kind of goes along with you as you race, and that kind of interacts and goes up and down based on your performance. I know a lot of us driving guys kind of just want to hear the engines and have the music off. So I'll just have to see how that goes, whether that really adds to it. But it could be cool. They're also, working on the audio in general. The Doppler effect as you go through areas and have the reflections bouncing off walls, and engine, crowd noises, the whole thing. The Skywalker sound, I guess, is pretty involved there, at least from what they're saying. The last thing I'll bring up is the physics, and they're working with Calspan, who I looked up. They generally are like a company that works on crash tests and safety and things like that. But they're getting tire data from them to really get a better assessment of how tires perform on these cars in certain conditions. So there's exciting developments on every front for Forza 5. From the show floor, really it's one of those limited demos where you pick a car and you race around a track a couple of times. So, it's hard to get a feel from the game from just that. But we'll see how it goes.